Mic check, 1, 2. You are looking live at the scenic views of the Watkins Glen International Circuit, a historic venue which has seen tremendous displays of racecraft and skill over the course of its illustrious 70-year history. From the dominance of Rusty Wallace in the 1987 NASCAR event, to Alan Jones's title win in the last F1 race here in 1980, and of course, who could forget the dogfight to the line on the last lap that was Brad Keselowski versus Marcus Ambrose in 2012. We've already seen quite a bit of dogfighting already between our drivers so far this season. Who will come out on top today? Welcome, everyone, to the Scorpio Super Formula Grand Prix of the Americas. Hello, once again, race fans. I am Scorpio Blade. Thank you all so much for tuning in once again for round 15 of the Scorpio Super Formula Championship. As you can see, cars are already out on track for qualifying here today. Let's head down and take a look to see who will take pole position here and in upstate New York. Larson actively leads the way for the time being on net pole position with a 1:20.432. We were looking at practice times looking to be just about 1 minute 20 flat, so a little bit of room for improvement still. Should be very exciting, this run for pole here today. Ryan currently P2 in the championship standings. It is currently P2 on the timing sheets. He'll be looking to continue to close in the gap to his teammate Super S2K. King, newcomer to the series, looks to be very fast around here this week. Has found himself up into second place. Lester makes his return to the series, is currently running in fourth now. Supa running fifth. He'll be looking to make some inroads on the championship in the championship standings, as two of the drivers in front of him could not make it here today. We'll get more on that a little later. Roach currently running P6 for the moment. Rybird's in 8th now. We had as Quackadilly jumps up to 6th. Ooh, Roach with a big snap of oversteer coming out of, I believe that was the toe. Rybird, yes, we said Rybird was running 8th. Method currently in 9th, sporting a new livery. Gramados currently P10, yet to set a representative lap time. Super S2K also yet to set a lap just yet for the moment. Vader makes his return back to the series. Another one of the FH drivers. And of course Ivan now, after a couple weeks hiatus, finds his way back out onto the circuit. We're running for Scorpio. And I'm sure he'll be looking to find his way into the top 5 again on the season. So all drivers now out on track as we are closing in on halfway through our 10-minute qualifier here today. Just me in the booth today. Obviously, Ivan out on track at the moment, and we wish Felix all the best as he and his partner are expecting this weekend. So best luck to you guys. Hope to hear you back in the booth, and we wish you all the best. Up front, Larson on another, or looking to complete his next flying lap. Going to get a bit of a tow off of, that was Quackadilly up front. Goes even faster than his previous pole lap, 120.276. Very impressive lap from him. And I'll hopefully be able to get an onboard cam with him for his next go-around, because Larson has been extremely impressive in the practice sessions so far. All of these drivers, it's honestly mind-blowing just how much of this track they are actively taking flat out. We will get a camera on them in a moment, as Ryan is actually now on a lap. We'll ride on board with him as he climbs his way up through the S's here. Got on throttle coming out of turn 1 very well, used all the road on exit, and now he's just looking to maintain a line of least resistance, scrub off as little speed as possible as he comes down to the inner loop. And watch how impressive this is. Completely flat out. Does not lift off the throttle, but he's going to go for a spin over the curb. Unfortunate run for him. We'll jump on board with Larson. Hopefully he'll have a little bit of a better attempt. Flat out entirely through the final 2 corners as he comes around to start his next lap. Across the line, he's going to have a little bit of slipstream, potentially a little bit of dirty air from the car ahead. No, he's going to head back to the pits. That was Vader in front of him, I believe. Climbing the S's once again. This is going to be still flat out in qualifying trim. We'll have to wait and see just how close everyone gets. As Super S2K gets close 4 thousandths of a second. So that is all that separates him from Larson. That could be a titanic battle come the race time. That will be very impressive to watch. We'll keep an eye on those two. King, currently P3 in the Acura. Good showing from him in his first attempt. Ryan on an outlap at the moment, as is Vader. Lester into the pits. He's actually going to take tires and potentially a bit of fuel. Of course, a reminder to everyone back at home, no overtake to be used during the qualifying session. As Gramanos and Supa get very close together, coming down the back straight into the inner loop. You cannot go side by side through here, and it's a horrible crash. Huge contact for the two of them. You cannot go side by side through there. Neither one wanted to yield on their flying laps. It's now just a minute and a half remaining. They will have just enough time to get back around to start one more lap. As we'll ride on board with Larson now again, as he looks to set a proper flyer this time. So impressive how it looks almost easy for him to take those final 2 corners flat out. So super late on the brakes for turn 1, using all the track to his advantage. Now climbing up the hill, down the back straight. He's going to be they are flat out for over 30 seconds, but from the time they exit turn 1 to the time that they get to turn 7 and the start of the boot. Down the back straightaway, and he's up another 10th and a half. Easily flat out. He's going to hug it all the way to the inside through the carousel. And now he'll finally jump on the brakes, give that engine a moment to breathe. And it is a good run out as he heads towards the toe of the boot. Gonna run a slightly wide entry, just get to the apex of the corner, run it out, a little bit of tires on the grass, lost a tiny bit of time, but still on for a purple lap here. Can we see a 19? Gonna use all the track to his advantage on exit again. Final braking zone on the lap somehow. 2 corners to go. Oh, but he lost a lot of time. He ran it a bit too wide through that third to final corner. Flat out. Runs it up to the line. Does he find any improvements? No. A tenth and a bit down. What can Super S2K do? Through the final corner. Taps the wall on exit. Still going to be clean. To the line. No. No improvement for Super S2K either. And time has expired. Can Ryan find his way onto the front row? No, he's 3/10 down. That's going to do it for him. What can Vader do? Through that very tricky uphill corner. Only a 10th down, so he's got room for improvement, but he's a second back from Larson and Super S2K, so he's got to find a lot of time here. Only a 10th and a bit down from Ryan. So there's a chance that he could find his way into the front two rows, but I don't think he's going to do it. Not quite enough time left in it. Vader will come to the line. Can he improve on 5th? No, he will stay 5th for the time being. Gramanos has completed his laps. Lester is on an out lap. He won't set another one. Supa's done, as is everyone else. And that will do it for qualifying. 13 of our best have gone at it, and the front two are separated by 4 thousandths of a second. Oh boy, if the race is as close as it is in qualifying, we could be on for an absolute heater here today in upstate New York. Qualifying complete. 55 laps ahead of us, just south of the Finger Lake region. This should be incredibly exciting. So with qualifying all wrapped up, let's take a look at our championship standings and a quick review of the shenanigans from last time out at Monza. It may have looked more like an online public lobby than an official championship on lap 1, turn 1 last time out. But sneaking through the carnage, Larson took home his second win of the year and in dominant fashion ahead of Kassman, who took second in just his third start. Yeah, that should read, who took second place and his first podium in just his third start, excuse me. Evidently, I've misread my own notes. He was followed up by AMS Drift King, or Ryan, as he now becomes the only driver to have finished on the podium in all scored rounds this season. Super S2K, who heroically fought his way back to 4th place after being caught up in both the Turn 1 pileup as well as a few other incidents not of his own doing, now sits 31 points clear in the lead over his teammate Ryan, who now holds second place in the standings over Nico Arigata, who fell outside the top far outside the top 5, thanks to a multitude of track limit penalties and unforced errors, which severely hurt his comeback drive. I didn't even notice Nico failed to qualify. That's going to be very interesting to see what he can do. He's now going to be forced to the back of the grid. Dear. That could be very... I don't think they're going to redo qualifying. They might. We'll have to wait on official word from Ivan and the stewards. So we will keep our eye on that as we continue reading through the championship standings for the moment. So with only 4 races remaining, including today's race, the pressure is mounting on both Nico and Ryan to start making some big inroads on Super S2K. Looking further back in the standings, Larson has reclaimed 4th place in the standings over Sanchez, Payme, Philo, and Supa. But with 4th through 8th in the standings separated by just 18 points, And both Philo and Pepe out for today's session due to various reasons. Supa's going to be looking to capitalize and close back in, potentially jumping back into 5th place in the standings, depending on how today's event goes. And so, as drivers make their final preparations with a much shorter run down to turn 1, and with turn 1 being a much higher speed corner, let's see if these drivers can keep their front wings in check as we are moments away from lights out at the Glen. And so, a quick reminder to everyone, for a brief reminder of the rules. Obviously, no overtake button to be used on the opening lap. Both the soft and medium compound race tires mandated to be used during today's event, unless, of course, we get a surprise rain shower and the drivers need to go onto the intermediates or indeed the full wets. Not expecting there to be any rain today, but being upstate New York, there's always the possibility. And I do believe Watkins Glen is a track that is coded to have rain in this game. So, fingers crossed I haven't butchered that. Should just be a few more moments while we finalize the starting grid. Obviously, with Nico failing to qualify, he will be starting at the tail end, so we'll keep an eye on him. None of the North American tracks get rain. That's annoying. So yes, we will be staying dry for the entirety of today's event. Soft and medium tires to be used at some point. We will keep our eye on tire wear to see what the optimal strategy ends up being. I believe we're just waiting on a few of our drivers to finish up, and we will be getting underway. Good opportunity for the drivers to get a final eye in as they run a few laps just on full race fuel. Make sure that their braking points are properly adjusted. And we will be ready for the off in a few moments. So sit back, relax, pull up a chair. This should be an absolutely incredible battle to the finish here today. 4 thousandths of a second again was all that separated Larson from Super S2K out at the front. They will be side by side for the start of this race as they look for the lights here at Watkins Glen. The lights come on and we are ready to go underway. It is lights out, and it looks to be a good start for everyone inside the top 6. A little bit of trouble further back. I believe that was Supa with a slightly poorer start. Larson immediately going to cover off Super S2K, who holds on to second place. Here comes King with a run, looking up the inside of Super S2K. He's going to look to try to get himself into second place. They will be side by side up through the S's. King now takes over the second place spot, and immediately with a run, looks to possibly challenge for the lead over Larson. Side by side into the inner loop, 3 wide potentially. They're going to have to sort that out. Contact a little further back. Hey, Super S2K, yes, that was him. Went off into the grass. I don't believe he'll pick up a time penalty. No, he will have a second time penalty immediately for the championship leader, and he's going to have to serve that immediately. My goodness, a horrible start for the AMS drivers, immediately down to 3rd and 4th. King, with an absolute rocket of a launch, gets himself up to first place immediately, but don't look away now. Here comes Larson, only 6/10ths back. My goodness, what an opening start. Ryan is now up into 3rd with Super S2K serving the penalty. Gramenos looking around the outside at turn, I believe that is turn 10. My goodness, all over the place here today. Super S2K now recovering, holding on to 4th place for now. Somehow, no, never mind. They are not flat out through the final corner on heavy fuel. King is on the soft compound tires. That would explain the much better launch already over 1.3 second gap. He has broken slipstream back to Larson, who's got a 2-second gap back to Ryan, and Super S2K just hanging on into the coattails of his teammate. Gramenos looking with another run again. We are now on to lap 2, so the overtake button is available. Gramenos immediately looking to make a move. He's going to think better of it. Not going to try to make a pass on Super S2K going through such a high speed and narrow section through that inner loop. All cars seem to have gotten through without issue. Nope, never mind. There were a few people further in the back. We'll take a look to see who that is toward the back. And that was unfortunately Lester, Nico, Roach, and Ivan look to have all jumped into the pit lane to repair damage on the opening lap. They are back going again, fortunately, as King picks up a half-second time penalty. Getting a little too greedy with track limits, and so he will have to try to run away as far as he can from Larson here over the course of this next lap. As again, that penalty service spot is just out of the toe corner in the boot section. If you look on the track map up in the top right-hand corner, it's a bit, it's a little more challenging to make out given the orientation of the track, given that it faces north to south. But if you look, there's a sequence of corners that if you use your imagination, kind of looks like a boot, hence the nickname for that section of corners. King back up to a 1.2 second lead. Larson with a slightly better run through the carousel as they enter this boot section. Larson going to look to hang on. He's on a day where he looks to go back-to-back on wins over the course of the season, try to potentially find his way into a fight for third in the standings if he can go on enough of a tear in these final few races. King serves the penalty, holds on to the lead. He had just enough of it, but Larson is now all over the gearbox looking further back. Gramenos has found his way up into fourth. Super S2K not having the day he realistically wants. Gramenos has found his way back. Super S2K with a huge snap coming out of the boot as he makes his way back onto the main circuit. And so now he'll have to settle back in. He's got to hope to not lose slipstream to those in front. Both Gramenos and Ryan. Ryan's on the hards. So Ryan has forced himself onto a mandatory two-stop here, trying to make it to the end. He's going to look to go very long on those sets of tires. I am shocked we even see the hards here today. Gramenos now, use an overtake, will clear Ryan going into the inner loop and will now jump himself up into third place. Ryan, if you remember back to the interviews last time out, said that this was one of his better tracks. So he is absolutely going to look to try to make as much ground as he can over Super S2K here today if he wants any shot at the title. Super S2K now starting to come under attack from Vader, of all people. He is not having fun on those medium compound tires, it looks like. Stuck in the dirty air of his teammate. Just not really able to make any inroads. Vader now dropping a few more tenths back. Looking further back, Method now up into 7th. This is, I believe, one of the longer pit lanes, so that is why pit stops seem to. Or no, sorry, I'm speaking out of my rear end here. Rybird and Quackadilly look to be battling for 8th place at the moment. We'll quickly jump further up. Ryan now under attack from Super S2K, who finally finds his way through. Ryan running the hard compound tire. I'm honestly very surprised he's decided to run that set of tires, especially so early with the track position he would have had. So looking further back again, Rybird holds on to 8th over Quackadilly. Nico has found his way into 10th over, he's gotten past Lester. Roach running 12th. Ivan is now up to 13th as Supa is back into the... Oh, jeez. Supa into the pits with heavy engine damage and rear wing. That was, he's had a tremendous off somewhere. I don't think I've seen anyone pick up engine damage before so far this series, so that'll be a first. King now under attack from Larson, and those soft compound tires have been absolutely shredded. 6 laps in, and they are already crying out, ready to come off. Larson now looks to the inside, coming through the inner loop. He's going to have him cleared way before the corner, and he is now up into the lead of this race, and with quite a sizable margin, 4.5 seconds back to Gramenos, who is the next car on the same compound of tire, same pit strategy as well. Ooh, that raises a good point. If someone had picked up engine damage, does that require a DNF? Supa might be out of this race. And that'll be horrible, horrible for his championship hopes if he wanted to potentially get up into the top 5 in the standings. Gramenos still holding on to 3rd place for now. Super S2K looks like he's starting to close back in. As King comes into the pits, yeah, those soft tires are done. So, good to know. Softs will realistically only go about 6 laps, maybe 7 on lighter fuel. So with that in mind, maybe the hard tire isn't such a bad call after all. Just under 50 laps to go here at Watkins Glen, as King will exit the pits and hold on to... no, he will start to battle for 8th place over Quackadilly. It looks like Rybird has had a bit of an issue somewhere, as he's dropped well behind Quackadilly here. And Quackadilly now looking to try to get around King, but no, King's going to drain the overtake a little bit to stay ahead, and he will hold on to that 7th place. And we'll keep an eye on him as to where he cycles through once the rest of the leaders start making their pit stops. Back up toward the front. Gramenos now 5 seconds back from Larson, and still holding off against Super S2K, who's just about flirting with the with picking up a slipstream from Gramenos. Super S2K now 3 seconds clear of Ryan, his teammate, further back. He's going to be looking to take those hards probably to about the halfway point of this race, realistically, if he wants to do it on a 2-stop. Vader's still holding on to 5th, running just under a second back from Ryan at the moment. Method now 10 seconds off the back of the top 5. And then we come to King, who is the first car who has already made a pit stop here today. Quackadilly runs 8th, followed by Rybird in 9th. Nico starting to close in, now only 2.5 back in 10th. Lester now 3 seconds back from him in 11th. Roach running 12th. Ivan in 13th, already 47 seconds back off the lead. Primarily thanks to the lap 1 accident that he apparently had. And then Supa, who has already gone a lap down to the leaders, who now runs 6th in line on the circuit, but 14th in terms of positioning. Indeed, a very interesting strategy from Ryan. The hard tires is certainly a choice. He's going to get very suboptimal lap times out of those, but as long as he is consistent with them, he will hopefully manage to save a pit stop on those around him, and that could still potentially vault him quite a ways up the grid, but being 11 seconds back already to Larson up front, I don't think he'll be challenging for the win here today, unfortunately. Not without a little bit of help. As it looks like Vader's picked up a half-second penalty for track limits. Probably just got out into the grass going through the inner loop. And that will drop him outside of slipstream range to Ryan. Supa also with a half-second penalty, but he got it too recently to serve it that time around. So he should hopefully start picking up a little bit of slipstream from Vader in front. Back up for the battle for second. Super S2K slowly closing in a little bit, but not at a severe rate of knots just yet. Just kind of chilling out in the slipstream, potentially saving a bit of fuel. Gramenos is actually really shredded through his tires on this opening stint. 10 laps in. If he takes care of them, he could probably get to about lap 15, but that is going to be quite the ask to do this on a 3-stop. Super S2K really running it wide on the exit of the carousel here. He's got to be careful not to pick up a penalty. Kept at least 2 tires on the curbing, so he should be fine. But he is now starting to get held up a bit by Gramenos and his severe tire wear. Larson, meanwhile, now building to a 6.5-second lead. His tires actually as well pretty worn compared to Gramenos, and he's going to come into the pits now. Got to be careful on the pit entry, though. So, looked like he had a tire go over the line, so could be interesting to see if he picks up a penalty here on exit. So Larson now into the pits, potentially trying to cover off King here. We will ride on board with him for now as he exits the pits. And he will not pick up a time penalty for the pit entry. So that's very fortunate for him. And he will exit just about a second ahead of King. Again, these two are now the first drivers who have made a pit stop already in this race. Larson has run 2 sets of mediums, so he will, of course, still have at least 1 more pit stop to make to get onto the soft compound tire. Vader running 4th, his tire wear not looking very great. Super S2K, I'm actually quite surprised with how well his right front tire has managed to hold on, especially compared to everyone else, who seems to be really thrashing their equipment around, trying to find lap time. He is now 6/10ths back from Gramenos, but will continue to lose time now to the 2 net leaders further back. As Vader now comes into the pits to get off of those mediums. Promotes Ryan now up into the top 3 on his hard compound tires, as he now runs just under 10 seconds ahead of Larson, who has already made his pit stop. Larson actually pulled away from King by about half a second on his outlap, so that is a great sign for him as he continues to circulate around this track. Quackadilly also on the hard tires, I've just noticed. And Nico now up into 7th place, looks to be continuing to close in. Nico, the only other driver with similar tire wear to Super S2K on this pit strategy at least. Although part of that, I believe, might be down to the fact that he pitted at the end of lap 1 to service the damage he picked up. Vader is back out into 8th, just over 2 seconds back from Nico. Lester runs 9th with Supa right behind. Again, Supa, a lap car. Never mind, Supa's gone for another spin. Only front wing damage, though, fortunately. But he's now gone a lap down to the entire field. Not a good day for the driver who was looking to get back up into the top 5 in the point standings. Gramenos into the pits, onto a set of hard tires. That now puts Super S2K into clean air. So Gramenos now looking to potentially run for quite a while. Could he realistically go for the 2-stop, get far enough into this race? Ideally wants to get to about lap 49 or so, maybe 48, to then throw on the softs to run to the end. If he can manage that strategy, he's in very good seating. King 10 seconds up the road from Gramenos. Adaptive now less than 10 seconds back from the lead. He's closed in 5 seconds over Super S2K over the past couple of laps. Absolutely. Tire strategy seems to be the name of the game here today. It's so many different strategies to keep an eye on. It will be very interesting to see who comes out on top through all this. So 14 laps in, Ryan looks to be about one-third worn through his tires. So if we're going to use that as a benchmark for the hard tires as to how far they can go, you know, he could be in a very good spot here to run over half distance. Throw on a set of mediums for 10 laps, and then throw on the softs for the final 6 or 7. Larson is absolutely blitzing this track right now, throwing down purple sector times left, right, and center. Hasn't even used that much of his overtake button as well, which bodes very well for him. Only 2/10 down on his personal best and the fastest lap of the race, as he will now close within 4 seconds of Ryan up in front. Again, Ryan yet to pit, but will be looking to make one less pit stop than Larson. A further 4-ish seconds up the road, Super S2K, whose tires are starting to feel the wear now. Nico is into the pits in 8th place. Oh, Nico picked up front wing damage. No. Another costly mistake for Nico. Actually, he's waiting in the pits. He picked up more than just a front wing. Oh, dear. And Supa as well, although Supa's been in here for over a minute already. Yet another unforced error for Nico. And that could very well seal the deal. He will not be fighting for second in this championship, let alone for the lead. Or let alone for the title, excuse me. And Nico has retired. Nico has officially retired from the session. He is done. He won't take any points home on the day. Well, this only bodes even better for Larson. A few more races where Nico has a few of these issues, If Larson can keep winning, he could very well see himself into the top 3 in the point standings at the end of the season. Ryan's picked up a half-second penalty. That's going to drop him into the clutches of Larson. That time penalty likely coming at the exit of turn 1. Larson now 1.2 back. He's now going to feel the slipstream effect from Ryan. If he can get a little bit closer, he might be able to jump Ryan just from the time penalty. He's going to burn the overtake. He sees the time penalty up in front. But no, he's not quite going to be able to get close enough. But he's in a very good position to claim that spot. Supa is still in the race for the moment, but he is sat in the pits for quite a while. So not officially retired just yet, but seems to be growing more and more likely. As we will watch this battle for second place, Larson on Ryan here. We'll ride on board with him as they climb up the hill. We saw they were flat out through the inner loop in qualifying trim. What can they do here? Larson closing in at a rate of knots, 3,000ths up on his fastest lap. He did need to lift. He's going to look to the inside. Ryan's going to leave him the room just. Might have been a little bit of contact, but what a move. Larson up into P2, and that will seal the deal for him as he claims second place. And will now begin to hunt down Super S2K up front. Oh, he got disconnected from... Oh, what a shame. Nico, so sorry to hear that. Wishing you all the best in the final 3 races of the season. Hopefully your luck will turn around again. And we'll look back to the action. Super S2K into the pit lane. Finally gets off of those medium tires. 18 laps, that's the best wear rate we've seen on that compound. So could Super S2K try to pull off the 2-stop? We'll see what tires he's on in a moment. And he is onto the hards. He is going for the 2-stop. So Super S2K will be looking to get to, like we said, around about lap 48, 49. So I believe that's about 30 laps from now. He's come out just over a second and a half behind Gramenos. Also on that medium hard tire strategy. He will have a slight tire wear advantage over Gramenos. He's got about a 5-lap advantage over Gramenos. So we will see how much those tires wear by over the next 30 laps or so. King still holding on to P3 at the moment, but he'll be looking to come into the pits relatively soon, I would imagine. Again, he only went 10 laps. He went 7 laps on the softs before pitting onto these medium tires. It was Larson who only went 10 laps on his first set of mediums. As it looks like Nico was explaining he was having some severe internet issues. So hopefully he'll be able to get those fixed in time for the next race in a couple of weeks as we head down to Brazil, Sao Paulo, and Interlagos for what should be an absolute thriller. That track always puts on incredible racing. Should be very exciting to watch. But in the here and now, it is still Larson out in front by about 3 seconds over Ryan. Ryan about halfway worn through those tires. He could, honestly, with the wear rate we're seeing out of Ryan, he could go to about lap 40 before he really needs to pit. So he is in a great spot on those hard tires. He'll be looking to do probably another 10 laps on those before he makes his pit stop. King, meanwhile, I would expect him to be coming in within the next lap or two to get off of those mediums. He's closed in to back within 6 seconds of Ryan, but I don't know if he's going to have quite enough pace in the mediums to be able to do the strategy he'll realistically want to do. Of course, he still needs to... he only needs to run the... No, sorry, he's completed his tire requirement, so actually, on second thought, he could strap on a set of hards and go to the end next time he comes in, if he goes a couple more laps. Got about 35-ish laps to go. Yeah, he could absolutely pit for a set of hards and go to the end here. And then, of course, we look back to Gramenos and Super S2K. Gramenos is pulling away. That gap was 1.6. He's grown it to 1.9. Could we see Super S2K finish off the podium based on pace? Larson is into the pits. Still needs to use the soft compound tire, remember. He has run both sets, both his stints so far on mediums. And he will run a third stint on mediums. He comes out of the pits just a little ways behind Super S2K. That will be a battle on track to watch. Quackadilly into the pits, getting off of the hard tires. Honestly, fairly surprised he shredded through those as quickly as he did. Rybird is out on the hard tires at the moment, as is Roach and Ivan and Method. Supa's still in the pits, so yes, I would imagine he is officially retired from the session now. King now, 5.5 seconds, now 6 seconds back. Those tires really falling off now. He's found the cliff now. Losing time hand over fist. He needs to come to the pits now. And he will do so. Gotta be careful with the pit entry line, and does. So, King into the pits, and we would expect him to go onto the hard compound tire now and run it to the end. Larson is through on his mediums, now only 1 second back from Super S2K, so we'll keep an eye on that. And King will exit the pits onto where you expect a set of hards. No, he's on mediums. So he will need to pit again. Very interesting strategy. Larson, half a second back from Super S2K. Let's ride on board with him as he tries to set up the championship leader. Gonna need to suffer a little bit in the dirty air. He can see the next position up the road in front of him as well. That is Gramenos. Gonna attempt the crossover on the exit. Gets right up to the gearbox of Super S2K. Using the overtake and the slipstream. Super S2K defends the inside. Larson gonna try to roll it around the outside. Cross him over? No. Not gonna be able to make it work. He's gonna have to sit in behind again. Super S2K still defending. Great defensive work by Super S2K to hold on to it for now. But that tire advantage is only getting stronger. Gotta be careful with how much he's getting into the grass on the exit, on the entry, excuse me. Hard defending to the inside wall. Larson now looks to the outside. S2K lay it on the brakes. Larson gonna look to try to send them back up as they climb through the S's again. In the slipstream with the overtake, a little bit of a tap to the rear bumper. Larson draining the overtake. Looks to the outside. This could be dangerous coming into here. Contact is made. Super S2K goes off the road. Contact is made and S2K hard into the wall. It was a hard, valiant effort trying to defend the position. Larson got to the outside. One of them had to yield. Neither one of them did. And now Super S2K, his chances at victory here today, gone. He will be coming back into the pits most likely at the end of this lap. Horrible, horrible luck. Let's see if we can go back and watch what happened. No, never mind. I was a bit late on that. I apologize, folks. I was just in so much shock at the incident. I completely forgot to click the button for the replay. Fortunately, I think we caught it on the first time. Super S2K tried to save it. He didn't have damage from the first amount of contact, and he does come into the pits. He didn't make contact with the right-hand side wall through the inner loop, but crossing over the grass and the curb just pitched the car out, put him into the tire wall. And now, what does this do for Ryan? What does this do for Ryan? The potential for the swing of the championship. He won't be able to claw back enough points to take the lead just yet, being 31 points back. But my goodness, the opportunity that has just presented itself for the second AMS driver. His one and only win on the season came back at round 1 at Bathurst, where a similar lap 1 incident to what we saw last time out took out both Super S2K and Nico Arigata at turn 2 on the opening lap. Ryan was able to sneak through and was able to build enough of a gap to win that day. What can he do? Still the only driver yet to pit. But in all honesty, he might be on the best pit strategy of the bunch, as he will have both good sets of tires to run to the end. Gramanos tries to defend from Larson. He will have to yield, and smartly does. Larson now up into second and 10 seconds back, 10 and a half back from Ryan up front. Larson, as a reminder, will likely need to pit at least 2 more times if he plans to do yet another set of mediums onto a set of softs. Ryan does still need to use both of his mandatory compounds, but we believe this is a genuine battle for position now between Larson and Ryan. And speaking of, Ryan will finally jump into the pits 25 laps in. What is his pit strategy going to be? Larson will reclaim the lead of the race, sets a 22.2 fastest lap. Gramanos through into second as well. Ryan, we'll see in a moment, will exit out onto the medium. So his first of the 2 mandatory compounds now used. As he will hold on to third, or does he? Here comes King with a run. He's draining the overtake. Can King get his way around the AMS driver? They're going to be side by side here. King looking to claim the position. And King will take it for the time being. And that, I believe that was Super S2K further up the road. He's down to 12. He's down to 12. He just pit again. Did he crash on the outlap? Oh dear, it goes from bad to worse. The championship leader in absolute trouble. Down into 12th. Fortunately for him, this will likely be one of his drop rounds. But given that, oh my goodness. This is a day he cannot afford to have. 12th place on the road, only halfway through. Oh dear. And 20 seconds back from the next car up the road. He will not get back into the top 5, I can guarantee you that. Quackadilly holds on to that spot. He's 30 seconds back from Ryan, excuse me. King is actually running very impressively at the moment. He's managed to pull away by quite a margin over Ryan at the moment. Now 1.6 clear, 1.7 clear. Ryan taking it very easy through the inner loop there, as now he starts to close back in through the carousel. So it is King now running third. Gravanos with a fantastic run for him at the moment in second place. He'll be looking to pit in a few, potentially in a few laps time off of the hards. My goodness me, how this race has changed. Lester on his return back to the series, running in 7th at the moment, having just made a pit stop. Yeah, he's got Vader behind him. That battle for... Oh, Vader's picked up front wing damage! How has he done that? He will serve his time penalty. He's probably going to need to come into pit. He came out of the pits only recently off of the hards. Oh dear, that's a shame. Vader's going to drop quite a few spots, potentially. Rybird will be coming into the pits this time, what I would imagine. Ivan running 10th, should gain a couple spots off of these drivers needing to pit. Very strange race that has begun to evolve over the past couple of laps. Rybird has stayed out. He has stayed out on a very worn out left front tire. Very interesting call. Ivan should be able to easily clear him going up the S's here. In fact, let's ride on board with the Scorpio eSports driver. Method into the pits. Ivan finally starting to use some overtake. As he looks to the outside, does Rybird hang on to it? Ivan with a very smart call, trying to not force the issue. And he should... Oh, contact made! Right, I think he thought Rybird was going to leave the door open. Rybird was just able to find the apex of the carousel and held on to it. And now Ivan will be able to... Oh, nope, not yet. Never mind. Rybird with a better exit out of the toe. Ivan looks to the inside going into the heel, and he'll take away that 9th place. Although Rybird might potentially look to fight back. No, he can't. That tire is done. So, Ivan up into 9th. We'll look back up at the front. Larson now with a 7 and a bit second lead over Gramanos, who holds an 8-second lead over King, and Ryan is starting to close back in. Our top 4 separated by just about 16 seconds. Larson now looks to be in a very handy spot. The question is, what does his pit strategy become here? Of course, he still needs to run the softs. He does still need to run the soft compound tire. And those tires he's currently on will not last to the window in which softs will make it to the end. Although if he runs long enough, what he could potentially do, knowing that his softs won't make it to the end, he could basically go for a couple qualifying stints, take 2 sets of softs to the end of the race, and just make sure he sets absolute blistering lap times on him. So Larson will still need to pit 2 more times in this race. Gramenos has already run a medium tire, so he just needs to go long enough to go onto a set of softs. Though that is looking growingly unlikely at the moment, given his tire wear at the moment. He still needs to go quite a ways still. It's 25 laps remaining, and he's coming into the pits this time. So probably another set of mediums to get him inside the soft tire window. King will now reassume second place. His tires could potentially get to that soft tire window. Although, of course, he's already run his mandatory set of softs, so he could do whatever So he's got free option, or free choice, as to what tire he decides to run to the end here. And now Ryan up into third, only 6 tenths back from King. Still needs to run the soft tire, but will very easily be able to get inside that 7 or 8 lap window. The question is now, with both himself and King picking up dirty air from Super S2K in front, how much are they going to get held up here? That said, they are still running faster laps than Larson at the moment. That gap was 16 seconds. It's come down to 15. And Ryan now under 3 tenths to King. Will ride on board with him as he looks to set up the move potentially. He really suffered through in the dirty air through that final corner. Can he get close enough for the move? Oh, King with a snap of oversteer. This could be his chance. Gonna drain the overtake here as he looks to set up the move. Looks to the inside. He thought King was going to cover it off. King left him the space. King's just going to let him through here. Ryan now up into second. Oh, not quite flat out at the moment. Through that inner loop. Very impressive run for Ryan as he comes up to Rybird and Super S2K, who are battling for position. Rybird gets out of the way, and finally so does Super S2K. That will have cost them about a second. But Ryan is through and cleanly into second place now. King now clear of the traffic as well. Super S2K, I thought, looked for a move. Might have been a little bit of contact with King there. We'll make sure, no front wing damage for Super S2K, so he is fine for the moment. Ryan now already up to a 1.5 seconds over King and closing in at a rate of knots on Larson. Larson will likely be coming in this time, and he's going to really suffer on that tire. Barely anything left on the carcass. So now it becomes a dead heat brawl. What tire strategy is going to work out better? Roach into the pits. We'll keep an eye on that when he exits. Larson's going to potentially drop to only 13 seconds out in front of Ryan by the time he enters the pit lane. We'll watch him on entry, and he does come into the pits this time. And like I said, he's only 13 ahead of Ryan. We'll see what he does for tire strategy here. Again, he cannot make it, to the soft tire window. He probably went for another set of mediums, would be my guess, to then run to his soft tire window. Ryan and King through into first and second, respectively. Gramanos not quite close enough to take that third place away. 10 and a bit seconds back from the lead now. On to a fresh set of mediums. So now both Larson and Ryan will be running these tires to their soft tire window. Both of them now need to run the softs for their final stint. The question now, can he, being Larson, close in those final 10 seconds over the next 20-ish laps? This is going to be very exciting. And of course, don't forget, he's going to need to work his way past King here. King, I would imagine, if he can go just a few more laps, could go on to a set of mediums and run to the end here. And so he will have a tire advantage over Ryan and Larson for a few laps before they strap on their softs. So he's got to stay close enough to Ryan, try to get the undercut on him. He's going to be in a little bit more of a difficult spot to try to win today's race, but don't count King out of it just yet. And of course, he's got Super S2K, if I can find the right button. He's got Super S2K all over his gearbox to keep him company here. Ivan has found his way up into 8th place, so good showing from him. Vader currently runs in 7th, is still carrying that front wing damage, though I guess it doesn't seem to be affecting him too much. Lester, on his return back to the series, running in 6th, good showing. And only 5 and a bit seconds back from Quackadilly on a, I guess, similar pitch strategy. This is going to be very exciting for that battle for the top 5. Lester could very easily find his way into the top 5 on his return. Gramanos seems to be running pretty much out on his own at the moment in P4. He'll be going to the end on those hard tires. Or at least attempting to, anyway. Not sure if he's run a set of softs yet. Although I suppose he'll probably run right to the very end and then go for a fastest lap attempt would be my guess for Gramanos. King now 4 seconds back from Ryan. He's dropped quite a ways. He will need to come to the pits within the next couple of laps. Larson should be able to get another 10 laps out of those tires, hopefully. Get to the end on his set of softs, although he's going to need to be a little bit careful with it. Can't afford to push very crazy just yet. And of course, Larson can really thrash those tires. He only needs these mediums to go 10 laps, which is the length of time he took his first set. Another fastest lap for Larson, 1:22.1. As he continues his pursuit of the lead. Now just about 7 and a bit seconds back from Ryan. And still finding purple sectors here, but keep an eye out. He's basically out of overtake. King is into the pits as we anticipated. That will put Larson into clean air for now, at least until he gets up to the back of Super S2K, but he will need to let him through. Gramenos through, up into P3. And actually, with Gramenos going the rest of the way here, that is a genuine battle for position here, if I can find the right button. King onto a set of hearts? I see. I guess he doesn't think softs can go, or mediums can go to the end. So King will be going to the end on that set of hard tires. Gramenos will be going to the end on those hard tires, so King needs to find 11 seconds on Gramenos if he wants a podium. And so I would imagine that's going to leave Larson and Ryan now. Your battle for the win. 6 seconds. All that separates them. Again, both of them need to make one more stop. Both of them will need to strap on the set of soft tires. Larson has the tire advantage right now, but he is basically all out of his overtake button. Ryan still has about 30% left. This is going to be a very exciting battle to the end here. Working lap 38 of 55 here at Watkins Glen. Don't go anywhere just yet. This is going to be a very exciting battle. We saw what happened last time when Larson went around the outside of an AMS car and the inner loop. Where will he look to make the move this time? 5.5 seconds now. Larson is rapidly closing in. 22.4 to a 23.3. Almost a second a lap. Larson's good at this rate is going to get there before the pit window. What will Ryan be able to do to hold him off? Gramenos running a very impressive race at the moment. Still running in third at the moment. And King's actually not closing in very quickly here. That gap's still about 10.9 seconds. Gramenos has a great shot to hold on to P3. Crocodile, meanwhile, running in 5th place at the moment, but I have a feeling he's going to need to pit one more time. As will Lester, though. So that battle is a battle for position, most likely. We would imagine they will both pit at around the same lap here, given their tire rates. Actually, Lester will probably go a little bit further on his tires. But Crocodile should be able to get into a window where he will go onto another set of mediums. And Lester should, or will most likely follow suit. Although he could run a bit longer and go on to a set of softs if he chooses here. So we'll keep an eye on that. The tire is squealing. But Crocodile is still A-okay at the moment. Theater running in 7th at the moment, 13 back from Lester, and 9 seconds ahead of Roach, who looks to be going to the end on those hards, having pit recently. Super S2K back up into 9th as Ivan exits the pits onto a set of mediums. Could he potentially see those to the end of the race? As Super S2K picks up a half-second penalty for that moment we saw as he exited turn 1. Just a little bit too wide out of the corner. Horrible day for Super S2K. Ivan running in 10th on his return. Rybird in 11th. Probably going to need to pit one more time before the end of this. And then Method as well, also on that similar strategy. Will need to pit one more time. And then Supa, of course, has retired from the race. Oh no! We have lost Vader. A highly unfortunate disconnect. That's going to put Roach up into 7th now. Oh, dear. And he was running so well. Highly unfortunate. What a shame. Well, hopefully we'll see Vader back for a couple more for the remaining 3 races of the season. P7 for Roach, not a bad result for him. And then Super S2K now, of course, into 8th. But Ivan actually starting to close in, and with quite a lot of overtake still to use. Could Ivan find his way past Super S2K? Wouldn't that be a story? Hanging on to the back of the championship leader for now. Back up front. Closing in. Crocodile into the pits, by the way. 1.3 seconds. All that separates Larson from Ryan. Ryan will be desperate to get this win. He will have seen on the leaderboard the horrible day that his teammate is having, and he knows the opportunity at hand. Can he make those tires last to the window where he can put the softs on? He will not want to make an additional pit stop. 1.1 the gap now. Larson is into slipstream range. Closing in, and he's got a blip left of overtake. But he has the tire advantage, and so that's where you see him closing in, is every single corner. But will it be enough to overcome the dirty air? Half a second now between these two. And let the battle commence for the win. 1 pit stop still to be made for these 2 drivers, remember. And that could be a very interesting point as well. Where are Gramenos and King in all this? King is 26 back, but on the hards and in dirty air. We'll keep an eye on him. I don't think he's really closing in at the moment. Gramenos, I think, will come out ahead of these 2 when the pit stops happen. Ryan holding on to position for now. Realistically, I think he needs to go another 2 laps before he can think about making his final pit stop. But we've seen how good the AMS cars are for tire wear all throughout the season. If anyone's going to be able to find 10 laps on a set of softs, that blue car that's currently leading will likely be the only one to be able to pull it off. Larson has closed right up to the gearbox. Through the boot section they go. Down this little mini straight. Does Larson fake a move to the inside? No, he's going to stay tucked up in line. He will stick behind through the dirty air for now. It's going to be these next 2 corners here that are going to really hinder him. He has a slide of oversteer as well. He's going to drop a little bit back from Ryan, who stays out another lap. Larson has the tire advantage, but that dirty air, he can't quite use as much throttle through those final 2 corners as he would like. And without the overtake button to overcome it, he's going to have a real hard time trying to get around that race leader. Half a second. He's going to need to rely on slipstream alone to pull up alongside and make the pass. These are critical laps for Ryan. If he can hang on to it, Larson looked up the inside, contact made. They're going to be side by side on exit here. Into turn 7. Ryan hangs on to it just. That inner loop and the carousel are the major corners where Larson closes in now, because everywhere else he is stuck in the dirty air. 2 tenths. Can he look to the inside? He faked it. He's able to hold the tighter line, trying to find any amount of clean air he can. Looks to the inside, Ryan defends. This could be very dangerous here. Oh, snap of oversteer again for Larson. This could be very dangerous when Ryan eventually comes into the pits, because he will be slow on the apex of the final corner. Larson with the run. He looks to the inside. Drag race down the front straightaways. They go down into turn 1. Larson laid on the brakes. He will claim the position over Ryan, and he will take the lead with 11 laps to go. He uses his last minute overtake. Here comes Ryan with the run. In the slipstream, but without the tire advantage, Ryan needs to stay as close as he can. He's going to need to pit this lap. Everyone's saying Gramenos needs to pit for softs. He's going to the end, guys. He is running to the end. Only 14 back. He will come out with the lead once the 2 leaders pit. Ryan, those tires falling off a cliff, already 2 seconds back from Larson. Ryan needs to stay as close as he can on this in-lap. He will need to get back around with the undercut. Larson will round the final corner. Does he jump into the pits to cover off Ryan? No, he stays out again. He knows he only took those. He knows King only took his soft tires 7 laps. Ryan is in. Final stop of the day. 10 laps to go. Onto the set of softs. And like we said, Gramenos will be exiting the pits. And he is well clear of Ryan. Can Ryan find his way? Oh, he did come out behind King. They're both going to need to pass 2 cars to get to the end here. 4 seconds back from King. And 4 seconds back from King. 11 seconds back from Gramenos. Don't count Gramenos out of this yet. Gramenos could win this still. Larson will likely need to jump into the pits within the next 2 laps to cover off Ryan. If he stays out another lap, he will likely come out behind the AMS driver. Lester is into the pits for what should be his final time. Does Larson jump in this time? No, he stays out again. Tire strategy and just how close everyone is on pace has made this race so interesting. Gramenos is in the net lead of this race, with Larson still needing to pit for his final set of softs. Gramenos, 15 now, 16 back from Larson. Larson running a lot faster now that he's in the clean air, but those tires will not last, and he does still need to pit one more time. Remember, he had about a 2-second lead on Ryan when he came out of the pits, which we think will put him on equal pegging with King once he makes his pit stop. King is catching Gramenos. Ryan is catching King. And Larson still needs to pit and will come out basically with them, and once he puts on the softs, we'll also be catching him. Gramenos will have the race lead with, I don't even know how many laps to go it will be. I think it's going to be about 8 or so laps to go. when he gets to the line. Larson is into the pits. Oh, he was wide, though. Larson was wide on the entry. This race has just gotten so interesting. Gramados will round the final corner. He is not pitting again. He has met the tire requirements. We will watch Larson as he comes out of the pits. Has he picked up a penalty for that pit lane entry? He exits the pits. There's no penalty. He was clean. It was a clean entry, and he is right behind King, but he's got no overtake to do it. Fresh softs versus worn hards. Larson will absolutely have a tire advantage. What can King do to hold him up for Ryan? King is into second, but for how long? Larson already up to speed here. Where does he throw it around King? Ryan closing in at a rate of knots as well as these two will begin to battle. Again, Larson with no overtake to use. It will be entirely about the mechanical grip advantage he has on those tires. King with a snap of oversteer. Larson looks up the inside. King isn't even going to fight it. There's still going to be side by side though on the exit. Larson though with the advantage. He will take over second place. And now just 6 seconds is all that separates him from victory. Why did you pit? Gramados is into the pit lane. Why did you pit? No. Gramados into the pit lane with 6 laps to go. Ryan is close up to the back of King. I thought Gramados had used the softs already. Oh no. Well, Ryan is past King very cleanly and fairly quickly. But he's also used up a lot of his overtake. It will now be a flat-out brawl between him and Larson. Can Ryan find his way back past? Every single race that has counted toward his points total in the championship, he has finished on the podium. He has only got 1 win to his name so far this season. Surely he does not want to be the bridesmaid again. 2 seconds between him and Larson as they come around to 6 laps to go. And with low fuel and soft tires, this is going to be the fastest laps we've seen on the day. Larson continuing to run away here. We've seen just how dominant Larson's pace has been. He holds the two biggest gaps over second place at the end of the race for a win so far over the course of this season. But we've also seen him make mistakes. He's got to keep his car on the road here. He is building the gap. But can he hold on to the end here? Or does he overdrive it? Fastest lap of the race, a 1:20.69. Only 0.2 off of his qualifying lap. Ryan, with not much overtake left, now sits 3 and nearly 3.5 seconds back. Can he find the lap time to get up to Larson? It was such an impressive battle between these two. Ryan held him off for as long as he could, but I don't think it was going to be enough. Ultimately, the tire strategy he tried just didn't quite work out. I think he needed to go just a few more laps on his set of hards earlier on. In the end of the day, Larson with such impressive pace throughout the weekend. Once again, putting on a dominant display. Qualified on pole, has run up front the entire race. It has been an impressive battle. King hanging on, still only 3 and a bit seconds back, but with worn out hard tires compared to Ryan's softs. And that is a fair point. If Ryan doesn't hang on to his tires for long enough, King could find his way back to second. 4 laps to go. He's got to be careful with them. Quackadilly and Roach both into the pits now. Lester back up into 5th place, although he's 40 seconds back from Gramenos, so that will likely be his finishing spot for the day. Quackadilly, Roach, and Super S2K will now exit the pits. And I think Ivan's going to be just a bit too far back from Super S2K to get back by him here before the end of it. And yes, that is correct. Ryan needs to do, he needs to do 11 laps on his softs to get to the end here. Super S2K out of the pits ahead of Ivan. He is on the softs. He'll now be hoping he can go for a fastest lap attempt and should be able to get it. Remember, he was only 0.04 of a second off of Larson in qualifying. Larson's fastest lap was set without using overtake. So Super S2K should be in a very good spot to be able to hold on to be able to grab that fastest lap bonus point. Larson now puts Roach a lap down as he runs through the penultimate couple of corners, as he will come around to, I believe, 3 laps to go here. Ryan trying to build a gap at the moment, but watch those tires. He is shredding through them at the moment. He's still got another 3 laps to do. Remember, he has now run the same number of laps that King was able to manage on his softs. So every lap from here to the end is just the advantage of that AMS setup. And whatever tire saving Ryan is able to do, he's not looking out front anymore. He is solely focused on getting to the end and making that tire last. King only 4 and a bit seconds back. Losing time for now, but I would imagine within a lap or two, we'll have the pace advantage, even with how worn out those hard tires are. Gramenos running 4th on his own. I don't think he's going to have the pace to be able to catch up to King. Ryan is also in a very good position regarding fuel usage here. Larson might need to save a little bit. He's got enough of a gap where he should be able to save enough to make it to the end without issue. But you'll notice he's not running away from Roach here. I think he's got the engine turned down now, trying to make sure he has enough fuel to get to the end here. Ryan should be plenty fine on fuel. King, though, as well, also not in a great spot regarding fuel. Gramenos in a similar spot to Ryan in terms of the amount of fuel he has left. Lester also looks to be in a decent spot. Quackadilly in a great spot for fuel. And then Roach, not far behind, but I don't believe he'll be catching up to Quackadilly before the end of this. Super S2K, we'll keep an eye on him as he looks to try to set the fastest lap of the race here. Keep an eye on his time here as he comes up to the sector split. And he is purple, 3/10. 3/10 up and still plenty of overtake to use. Super S2K should easily grab the fastest lap bonus point here. Yeah, 4/10 now. He's just able to burn all of his overtake that he wants. He's going to catch up to King, but again, that's not for position. And there it is. Fastest lap of the race. Super S2K, a 1:20.246. Only about equal to what we saw in qualifying, so not much left to get out of it for these guys, even with the overtake usage that they now can do in the race. Larson working the final lap of this race. 7 and a bit seconds clear. Ryan, he should be able to hold on to it. That tire with a 6 and a bit second gap over King. He'll hang on. So come home P2. Another second place on the day as he hunts down Super S2K in the championship, but it will most likely be his first back-to-back victory on the season. Just 2 corners remaining. And I don't dare try to... I really don't want to jinx this for him. Okay, he's good. Through the final corner, it will be Larson to come home. Back-to-back victories. He wins it in Watkins Glen. 8 seconds clear of the field. Ryan will come home a hard-fought second place. Tire strategy would look to be good, just didn't quite work out for him. King will come home. P3 for him. Fantastic debut for that driver. Graminos, one of his best results on the season, P4. And how about Lester? First race back in, I believe, a couple of months now. He will bring it home in P5, 13 seconds clear of Quackadelli, who runs 6th. And Roach will be the last driver across the line in 7th. Super S2K, one to forget for him, comes home 8th, but it could have been much worse had it not been for multiple disconnects. And does the pressure get applied even more on the championship leader? How much did Ryan, just cut into that championship lead? 3 races left in the season. Interlagos, High Speed Ring, and then the Tokyo Street Circuit. Boy, oh boy, do we have a barnstormer of a season to finish up. Ivan will come home 9th. Rybird will round out the top 10. Method will be the last driver to finish the race in 11th. And of course, Supa retired from the race early. Nico disconnected after a highly unfortunate incident, and then of course we lost Vader due to a extremely unfortunate disconnect. But that will do it for our on-track action here today. I'm sure the stewards will also want to take a look at the moments between Larson and Super S2K. We'll keeping our eyes to the Discord for what the stewards have to say about it. Don't go anywhere just yet. Post-race interviews coming up in just a few moments.
Hello?
Hello, hello.
Hello.
Larson, apologies about that. I pressed the wrong button. So that's why I left the session, or the
No
previous
problem.
VC. Just waiting on King to join in a few moments, hopefully.
Was King a new entry for this race? I don't recognize the
I
name.
believe so. So unless
Yes.
that was a nickname change, I believe King is a new driver.
Okay.
Which also probably means he doesn't realize that this was post-race interviews, so let me try to get to him on Discord here.
Yep. He's still in the He's still in the lobby. Let me ask him.
Yeah. There he is.
There we
All right. King, how are you?
Don't forget, because he's a new entry, make sure the stream is able to hear him.
Yes, I was just about to get to that. I wanted to make sure I could hear him first. It looks like he's still connecting here. Uh-oh. Might be having some internet issues. All right. King, are you there? Can you hear me?
King, if you hear us, your mic is on mute in the party.
And then Larson, just as preemptively, it sounds like there's a bit of a wind noise coming through your mic.
Yeah. Turn it off.
All good.
Oh, that might be mine too. I have a fan on. Sorry.
No, all good. I'm just looking at overlays here, and it looks like it's Larson. I just for the other interviews, I just want to make sure that that's not coming across. Appreciate it.
Sure, no problem.
That's not coming across. Appreciate it. King, hello. Can you hear me? He has just messaged me, can't hear anything. Strange. Not sure why that's the case. Just
Wait,
give us.
I'm seeing when he joins the party, he's going on instant mute, which could just be for us. So his privacy settings might automatically mute him for us because we don't have him as a friend. So maybe try adding him as a friend first.
Good idea.
That would also explain why he can't hear us as well.
Oh, potentially. Okay. Check, check, 1, 2. King, can you hear me? Yeah. Okay. So it looks like we won't be able to get an interview from King, unfortunately. All right. So, unfortunately, we won't be able to grab an interview with King today. Seems either connection or some other form of microphone issues just aren't allowing him to either hear us or us hear him. So, unfortunate situation in that regard. But we will move on to our second place finisher on the day. Ryan, another fantastic result for yourself, another finish on the podium, and potentially a big swing in the championship points as Super S2K had quite a large issue about halfway through the race. Tell us about it from your perspective. What are your thoughts now coming into the final 3 races of the season?
I think that it's first of all, it's not very unfortunate what happened. Just had a peek at the replay, and yeah, with this big swing in points that's happening here, it's gonna get closer. I'm not 100% sure what is. If I know this is 100% gonna be a drop round for him, but I don't know what his next best score is. But I'd assume it'd probably bring the gap down to maybe like 20. I want to say something like that after this round. So it'll get closer.
All right. Well, great result on the day. Goodness gracious words. Just a quick note to the chat. That was just me muting and unmuting my mic, so I apologize for that background noise. Yeah, obviously great result for you. Tire strategy, a very interesting call to start on the hard tires to get to the end. Sounds like there's an echo in the background.
Oh, that might be me. Sorry.
Either way, interesting tire strategy, starting on the hard tires, then going to the mediums and then the softs. Do you think there was anything you could have really done potentially to hold off Larson for a few more laps? Did you just need to run the hard tires a couple laps longer, or were you just losing time at that point and there was nothing else you could really do?
It was a bit of a difficult situation, really, because with such big differences in tire life, it's very hard to say what I would have done. There was one point, I think, later in the race, I don't know exactly what lap, I'd have to go back and look, but where Larson was near me again, and it was a long right-hander, the bus stop, and he was kind of just pushing me like through it, even though I had to lift because bad tires, because of the difference in tire wear. And I'm going to be honest, I wasn't very happy about that. I would expect him to use his grip around to go around the outside instead of just push me forward into the corner and risk giving us both damage. So I was not very happy. But other than that, and yeah, I don't know. Like, I don't think there's much else I could have done.
All right, well, fantastic result nonetheless. Great result for P2, and best of luck moving forward. Obviously, Interlagos and the echo's back, by the way.
Sorry, it's just my mic for some reason whenever I'm unmuted. Sorry.
All good. Obviously, final 3 rounds, Interlagos, High Speed Ring, and Tokyo left on the calendar. Are there any of those races you think play to your skill set over Super S2K?
I think Interlagos is also not a bad track for me. I've had some decent races there every once in a while. High Speed Ring, I think, is going to be like the wild card, because with effectively like one break, like maybe 2 braking zones really on the entire track, and with the mix of chance of rain that race, it's also a very flat open track, so fuel is going to be a problem on that track. It's going to be, what's the word I'm looking for? Different than our current racing that we're doing now, that's for sure. It'll be a lot of draft tactics and a lot of fuel saving behind cars, and I expect everyone to be in a massive pack the entire race.
All right, well, he's looking forward to it. Should be a very exciting result indeed, so thank you for talking to us, and best of luck in those final 3 races in your hunt for the title. We will move on to our race winner here today, as it looks like King is still trying to sort out his microphone and internet. If he's able to get back in time, we will definitely jump to an interview with him as well before we sign off for today. Larson, congrats on the win. Hard-fought win, it looks like, as well. Got out to the early lead after getting past King within a few of the opening laps. Tell us about it from your perspective. Obviously, took a couple extra pit stops, decided to use only the medium and soft tire over the course of the day. Was that just a pit strategy that you had in mind from the outset of the race, or was it something that you thought you would be able to use to your advantage in terms of just the better race time instead of going for one less pit stop?
To be honest, I was considering stopping 3 pit stops instead of 4, but I didn't test hard. I didn't think it was a viable option, to be honest. I just stuck with medium and soft for last, and I just stuck with it, you know.
All right. And then obviously, I suppose we kind of have to talk about it. The incident between you and Super S2K in going into the inner loop. You were definitely there alongside him going into the corner, and then it just unfortunate contact through a very high-speed corner. Do you think there was anything else you could have realistically done about it, or did you just expect him to back out of it?
I didn't expect him to back out of it. I thought I leave enough space. I'm not sure exactly, and it doesn't show exactly in the stream. I need to check it properly in the replay. But it was also very laggy, because the lap prior to that, I went to the left and he went almost in front of me, and it was crazy, you know. I couldn't tell where he is exactly. You know, I just had to go for it, you know.
Well, either way, a very strong result on the day. Back-to-back wins on the season, and with Nico having a very early retirement from the race, potentially not taking any points home on the day. Do you think there's potential for you to fight for third place in the championship standings?
I don't think so, to be honest, but I'll try.
All right. Well, congratulations once again. I suppose we'll see what the steward's conclusion is in a couple of days in regards to the incident, but a great race nonetheless. Congrats on the result. And we'll give King one more try. King, can you hear me? Doesn't seem like it, unfortunately. So with that, that will do it for us here today. I want to thank all of our podium sitters for their interviews here. And in King's case, his attempt to give us an interview. Like I said, only 3 races left in the season. Heading over to Interlagos in, I believe it's 2 weeks' time, and then it will be off to the high-speed ring on, I believe that race is November 15th, and then the season finale in Tokyo on December 6th. Don't go anywhere, folks. We will be rounding up this season with an absolute set of barnstormers. I've been Scorpio Blade. Thank you all so much for tuning in once again. We will see you next time. Goodbye.